everyone. So today I wanted to talk to you about songs. Probably the best way to force some sentences on people and to form their opinions about themselves is a song. Probably, perhaps in the songs, the language has an even bigger impact in creating your reality. A song works on your mood, it builds a narrative in your thoughts. You probably walk and hum, you walk and repeat. I've got nothing in my brain. You sing it with the feelings and with the humor. Maybe you even dance to it, because when you dance and sing, then almost with your entire self, you tell a story. You act something out unawareingly simply by dancing. Simply by having fun. In a sense, you program yourself, but you program yourself with what has been already created for you to undergo this programming. You sing, I've got nothing in my brain, or I don't know where my home is. So they hypnotize you on a chosen by you sentence or words from the song. But it has to be a sentence or words that you know. Because if you like a given song, then you will sing it, and then the entire magic or hypnosis will work even better. So I gathered a few lines from a few songs, and I want to show you how they played out in my life. I used to sing Lily Allen song, which goes like this. Look inside your tiny mind. And then, 'cause your words don't translate and it's getting quite late, so please don't stay in touch. Okay, so I don't want to have a tiny mind, and I want my words to be possible to translate, so I don't sing it anymore. But that song too finds some reflection in my life, as I had a few issues with learning and with speaking, so I give you a full picture on that in the book. I also think that when Lady Gaga sings I Want You Ugly, I Want You Disease, or our Polish singer Ewelina Flinta sings, you'll be left alone with no chances at all. That's for me bad wishing. The first CD I received was a CD by Nelly Furtado. I got it from Kamil Wajdovic. I remember words such as everybody looks at me. You crazy people. Sorry, I couldn't reach the song, couldn't find the song before I recorded the video. So that fits perfectly the aspect of watchers in my life, the number of which was growing with me. And in my adult life, I had a lot of watchers, but in fact I could observe that unjustified stare just from being in the first grade when I went to pick my classmate Dagmara up, and her mother would open the door and she would stand and stare just like that. I used to think that the woman was weird. But that staring would make me question myself, and I would wonder, is my hair all right, or is my shirt clean? Because she had to stare at something, right? So I think is one of the ways to build insecurity in someone. At the age of 20, I sang and listened to Eminem and his song Stanley. My tea ran cold. I'm wondering why I got up of bed at all. And I found a similar sentence in the Polish band called Hey. So the singer Kasia Nosowska sings a song entitled Teksański. My tea is getting cold. The night comes and under the bed there is still nothing. A duty is a duty, and a song requires some text. So most of the time I spent time on drinking coffee, and my coffee ran cold very fast, so it was very annoying for me. And I think that I had this experience because of the belief I had, and I had a belief because of the song I liked and sang. So she sings that the tea is getting cold, and my coffee was getting cold before I had the entire mug. So she also uses the word. Okay, it doesn't matter. But the best way of all was Taylor Swift with her song "I've Got Nothing in My Brain." So I already told you about my classmate who used to repeat, "Oh, I'm so stupid," and you would probably agree with me that one shouldn't say that. That repeating those words wouldn't do any good to you. But when it's in the song, we don't question it that much. We just go and sing a song because we think it's funny. Sometimes it's a form of your personal rebellious expression, a form of saying, I like different songs. When in fact, the truth is that singing over and over, I've got nothing in my brain, is stupid, and I did just that. I wish I was told it was stupid in the past, but I wasn't. So we had a period of listening to hip hop back then. Hip hop is a storytelling with some heightened expression, and we would expect vulgar tongue to appear in those songs more often than in other songs, but a lot of these songs are simply stupid. So in a song Scooby-Doo, yeah, Leroy speaks about thick boobs and a beaver fur. He also sings that he's a doctor and he's going to examine you. So the best of all was the song Bitch by Acetaholics. We used to sing that a lot with my cousin and her best friend. They sing, look at those shoes of that girl. And they talked about a different type of shoe that when I was starting to party, my sister used to wear those shoes, and the fashion then was for a short skirt and those shoes with higher sleeves, so to say. So, I connected to the song also because it spoke about my life at that time, the party life I was just discovering. And I didn't know what were women like in relation to men, and the song told me the girls were sophisticated towards them. so the entire story depicts girls as underage seducers, and they are called bitches. Well, which in Polish has a bit soft meaning than in English, because the word suczka is used rather than suka. So when calling young girls bitches and men dogs, the singer depicts them as animals with animals' instincts, or tries to add this flavor or a layer of understanding to that song. So they also sing that bitches want drinks, that you should buy them for the money from your piggy bank, relying on a loose translation of mine. So at times the song is actually funny because the word piggy bank rhymes well in the song. It also is a surprising word because when adults talk about their savings, they probably use a different word than a piggy bank. But the most revealing for me line in the song was "Don't touch Lolita even if she wanted it very much." And that word, Lolita, reminded me that we used to listen to the song by Alizé, Moi Lolita, and Alizé sings "Je m'appelle Lolita." At the very end of the song, she repeats Lo, Li, Ta, Lo, Li, Ta. And it's a first person narrative, and therefore you can identify with Lolita even better, as the song tells you directly, Je m'appelle, so I am Lolita. In my book, I also write about our pets' names. One striking thing for me was that my aunt had a dog named Lola. I was little when she had that dog, and somewhere around that time we listened to Alizé's song, and then about 25 years later I taught in a language school where the main character of the book is named again Lola. So how is Lola and Lolita reflected in my life, and how these two songs played out in my life? Oh god. When I was about 6 or 7 or 8 years old, I saw a pedophile, and the man didn't chase me, he didn't push me to do anything, but he just asked for the toilet and asked me to see if no one was looking when he was peeing. And he stuck out his penis in front of me and asked if I wanted to keep it. And I ran away, but there is more to the story in the book. So when being a bit older, before my aunt's wedding reception, we went to the village, and I think I was younger than 13 years old when the orchestra man asked me if I would like to ride on his horse. And we were alone in a car when he asked me that question, and I refused him. But once he asked that, my uncle Stefan came out of the house. In case I agreed to become Lolita, he was there to see me becoming one. So I was lucky to avoid becoming Lolita in the very early years of my life. And you could ask, so what's the whole fuss? If that hypnosis caused by songs doesn't work. I didn't become Lolita in my childhood, but later, on being 20 and older, I crossed a few lines here and there with regard to, in my book Piggy, I write a lot about sex. So the word lolly in British English means lollipop, and it also means money, so that perfectly fits Lolita and her story. By the way, you see how much meaning is encoded in just one word, and what it speaks about. So the point is, it's Lolita's story, and we should keep it that way, as it already happened to someone else, so we don't need to, and we don't want to make it our story. The name itself, Lolita, probably isn't dangerous, right? But repeating it over and over may be totally unnecessary. And if you have a dog named Lola, then you use that word every day. So if we think of a young seducer, of young Lolita, we think of the deliberate sexual action on her part. But knowing that someone chose for me to be a grey mouse, I think forming Lolitas is often built by destroying the value in them and making those grey mice unseen, so that they would go and search attention desperately anywhere and anyhow. If you want to analyze the songs that you could be affected by, you should think of the songs that you played the most often, because these could have affected you the most. I would recommend choosing some better quality music on a daily basis, and the truly best thing you can do for yourself to grasp all that impact of covert hypnosis is to start meditating. Right. Okay, so that is it for today. Thanks everyone for watching, and thanks all other YouTubers for their great inspirational content and wisdom. So, talk to you soon. Bye bye.